Hello, folks. Today was an interesting day. We had day one of Walmart Collecticon, with plenty more getting ready to roll out. A lot of steals, a lot of deals, and of course, those crazy lovable fakes. Let's not waste any more time. It's Black Genghis. Welcome to Black Genghis Live. This is episode 2, and today we're going to be focusing on Walmart Collecticon and all the crazy figs that they got released from our corporate overlords, and also a couple of Skybound miniseries, namely Scarlett and Destro, and a bunch of my own personal favorites from today and pre-orders tomorrow. Let's go ahead and holler at the chat real quick. Thank y'all for joining so much. A shout out to Nico Tronus, hey, yo, and my brother from another mother in the Terradrome, Tony's Figs. What's going on, man? Thank you so much. Great episode of Q&A with the Toy Kind of Mood dudes last night. Be sure to check that out. They went over a lot, but with more human interaction. And Gas, what's up, man? I wish I had a shot of whiskey to toast to you, but a cup of cheer we'll have to do instead. Delicious. All right. You know what? Let's go ahead. You know I like to get right into it. Today's episode is brought to you by Walmart, the OCP of our lives. And now that Walgreens and a couple other places are no longer slinging figs, we got to make do with what we got. And that means this place right over here. Sometimes they cancel your stuff. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you can go 6 o'clock in the morning and see what you luck out with and what you can find. Now, I think between Hasbro, NECA, hey, that's pretty cool. K-Wish, a good friend of the Toy Kind of Mood, that hung out today, probably in Arizona. That's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, when we get these Walmart exclusives, sometimes it can be tricky. I remember in 2020, the Masters of the Universe Origins line, year one in 2020, was a theoretical line because it was confined to Walmart and you just couldn't get them. Like I met some of my crew today because we were just helping each other out with Origins figs, you know, and times have changed. So you're able to get some stuff, right? I'm looking forward to some of these wrestling figs. Now here we got Booker T from the Harlem Heat. Stevie Ray is also up, but for whatever reason, they just use more Booker T photos. Elite Collection, they're good for the price, but I love the Ultimate editions, and it started with Sarge. Once I got that Sarge, it was like I'm just whatever I can get Ultimate with the butterfly joints and all the soft goods and everything else. That's what I'm going to stick with. But still, shout out to this figure right here, and of course we also have The Rock, Rob Van Dam. We got some pretty interesting picks for tomorrow. So if you're a wrestling fan, if WrestleMania has piqued your interest, check those out. It'll be 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern. So get your fingertips ready. But with this one, I'm really digging this Mankind right here. I like the soft goods. Love the Rock and Sock connection. And Mick Foley really brought a lot of the hardcore wrestling to the Attitude Era, and gave that era of WWE some of its best moments. So I'm really partial to this figure right here, and I have got to beat the internet because stuff likes to sell out and sell out fast. So yeah, I like the soft goods. I like the different accessories and whatnot. I don't think we have Mr. Sock, so that's okay. Hey, Vlad, what's up, man? Hey, thanks for joining, dude. Okay, yeah. So it does come with Mr. Socko. So listen, you can't lose with this one. This is one of my picks. Go ahead, see if you can get that Ultimate Edition Mankind if it strikes your fancy. Moving on, we also have the late, great Eddie Guerrero. This one's going to fly fast. I'm betting on it. So I think this one's like, if you don't get it tomorrow morning, you'll probably end up having to get it on the aftermarket. But they did a good job with this figure. They always do. And I'm surprised we haven't gotten this sooner. So if you get the chance, I say go ahead and get those Ultimate Editions. Eddie Guerrero, Mankind. If it was up to me, Harlem Heat would be Ultimate Edition. Rob Van Dam would be Ultimate Edition. I would say it's great if you want to save a few bucks, but when you have these butterfly joints and all those accessories and soft goods, they allow you to do different wrestling poses and different dynamic positions that you really can't do with Elite Collection unless you just want it on your shelf and you just want it up on your as a desk piece or something like that. You're limited when you're dealing with something like the Elite Collection versus the Ultimate Editions. So if you just want a representation of that character, that's all well and good, especially if you can get it on sale or clearance, like an Elite Collection for like $10. Can't sneeze at that. You really can't. But I still say the Ultimate Editions are worth it. Now, I know a couple of my people in the chat, namely Vlad and Tony, they love these fellas right here, the Ninja Turtles. I am floored by like the renaissance that we've gotten from everything from Turtles of Grayskull, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, NECA's doing it big, Playmates, they're really getting out there. I got the storage set, the storage shell set last year, and this was a lot of fun. This looks to be cut from the same cloth. So I would say definitely, if you just even want them on the desk, these are 4-inch scale turtles. So go ahead and pick those up. They still have a lot of the original weapons. If you have some of your vintage Ninja Turtles from way back, they probably can fit in hand with these. So if you've taken good care of your figures, you took good care of your turtles, go ahead and pick these up too. If you just want to leave them in package, NECA and Playmates, they do a great job with their packaging. So if you want to get one to rock, one to stock, no one can really fault you for that. I'm probably going to just leave these in package because they just look fun. You know, like yeah, I'm with you too, Vlad. Like I have so many turtles. This may need to be my last hurrah. I still need to get the Kino, but the training Kino with the punching bag and all that stuff. That's one of the last movie figs I need to get. But it's been a lot of fun with these turtles. I don't know if they can keep it going. That's the thing. And we've seen this happen before with the toy lines. It happened with Masters of the Universe 87. It happened with G.I. Joe Real American Hero. It's just saturation. You either run out of characters, or you run out of way to repackage those characters and keep reusing the molds. You have people who age out. In our case, we're not aging out of the line, but our wallets and our storage units are, right? So it just depends. Sooner or later, every collector ends up with a collection that's good as is. There is really no such thing as a complete collection. There isn't. You can always keep adding, keep modifying, selling, churning, that kind of stuff. But it really comes down to what reflects your taste and what reflected where you were at the time, like your mood, rediscovering different brands, that kind of stuff, right? Thank you. I thought you would appreciate that. But let's go ahead and keep it going. We went ahead and we bid adieu to the legendary Sting. His last match was at AEW Revolution. So I think this one's going to fly off the shelves. It's from Jazzwares. It's $39.99, so $40. You get all these hands, you get all those different head sculpts, and just look at all the different configurations you can do with the soft goods. So you got the short sleeve, you got the long sleeve, you have different shirts, different tampos on the soft goods. You got the coat, right? Look at all the different head sculpts as well. Like, I really wish more figures did this. And I get why you can't do this for every figure, because it would just be a really super expensive line. You'd have to do what Mafex or Mezco does, when every figure comes with a suite of hands and heads and accessories, figure stands, all that stuff. So I get why Mezco is routinely $100, $150. Same thing with Mafex, buying import, because you're not just buying one figure. Like if this was McFarlane, or if this was just a different manufacturer, this would have been 4 different Sting figures, right? So like instead of just buying one $40 figure, you would have to buy 4 $20 figures. So you get your money's worth when you're working at that level, right? And especially when we have someone like Sting, it's worth it. It's worth it. It allows you to do more with your fandom. So once again, I would recommend getting this Sting tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. If wrestling's not your thing, AEW is not your thing, I get it, right? If you weren't watching WCW back in the day, you may not even know who this guy is, but he's a legend. And this figure, it's going to go fast. Like, trust me. But this Captain America is from a really fun run from a few years back. This is from Secret Empire. So this got released today, $24.97. If you're collecting different caps, you're collecting Sam Wilson comic book cap or the MCU Captain Americas. This one I think is a fine addition. You can do a lot of fun stuff in recreating some of the comic covers. It blew people away when Cap was like, "Hail Hydra," and the comics like, "What is going on here?" So no spoilers from me. You get the chance, you have Comixology, you have a digital comic reading app. I recommend Secret Empire. Go ahead and check that out. And then get the figure. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, when we see figures like this, it comes with what it comes with. It comes with the shield, but at least you get 2 pairs of hands. Like, at least give us 2 pairs of hands. I'm going to talk about that later on, because with McFarlane Toys and other manufacturers, sometimes you get really threadbare offerings. Ray, what's up, man? Oh, my goodness. This must be like 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you for joining us, man. I'm going to try and make this worth your while. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, I'm going to touch on the GLA wave from McFarlane Toys. Sometimes just a little bit, just 1 pair of hands can make a difference where we're not resenting the purchase that we're making just because we like a figure or we like a brand or we like the storytelling that figure represents. So it gets to the point where it's like, hey, this may be my last wave of figures because it's just everything is just skimping. Yes, I get the texture and the molding and the detail. It's all there. And there's very little opportunities for retooling when it comes to a manufacturer like McFarlane Toys and whatnot. But if we can get extra head sculpts, different expressions for photography, different hands, splayed hands, fists, that kind of stuff, a little goes a long way. It really does, right? But still, you make do with what you got. So here we have the Mandalorian Night Owl. And once again, it's pretty basic, right? It's like what we got with Casca Reeves, what we got with Sabine Wren, or what we got with Bo-Katan Kryze. But I'm trying to get as many Mandos as possible. The dude that was piloting the ship on that one episode, the other dude, different colorways. I'm a sucker for this. They got me. I know they got me with this stuff. But if I can get this one, and yeah, it's going to be online. It's going to be on sale for a while. So I'm not too worried about it. But there are others who are like, why are you releasing this? They're releasing it because of people like me. Suckers like me who want every single Mando ever released. And then you have something like this guy, R460O. I won't front. I don't even remember what episode this dude was on. They could be like Mandela affecting us right now. It was like, hey, remember this guy? He was on The Mandalorian? Sure, man, whatever you say, right? So you want to collect droids ever since they did the resizing for Black Series with the R2 from last year, Chopper, that kind of thing. Then, yeah, you can pick this one up too. It would be nice if this wasn't $24.97 as well, right? This is the kind of thing where we start waiting for sales. We start waiting for clearance. We start waiting for Ross. So if you're going to do a droid like this, it would be cool to have lightning effects when it does this little taser thing or just something to really make it worth your while, because it's just, at this point, you're just asking who's willing to pay $25 for this. Keeping it Star Wars, this isn't necessarily Walmart Collector Con, but these are Amazon exclusives. So this is from the Jedi Fallen Order game. This is about, I think, $70. I didn't play the game. I didn't know the dude flip modes like that, but that's a very Star Wars thing to do. Shout out to Anakin. So once again, for people who are fans of the game, go ahead and check this out. And also, when it comes to Ahsoka, like, I think I'm speaking for a lot of people. If we could have gotten these in Black Series, we would have been all over them. Now, keep in mind, each one of these would have been $25 per figure. So you're looking at a $99.99 set, $100 set. But would you pay $100 for this? I would. I totally would pay $100 for these. But for right now, you can still have them for 375 scale vintage collection. Once again, Amazon exclusives. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So yeah, Captain Enoch and the Night Troopers. See, I love it when they do this. You get a 4-pack, and there's like 10 of these mugs on the box. Yo, Ken, what's up, man? Brian, dude, thank you so much, man. I'm glad to have y'all in the chat. Talks amongst yourselves. Have a great time. It does me a world of good to see y'all out here. I hope y'all are going to enjoy the show for real. Like I said, so when it comes to Star Wars and other brands from Hasbro and whatnot, perceived value makes a big difference, right? Am I getting my money's worth? I'm an Ahsoka fan, so I want to get the Night Troopers and Thrawn and Captain Enoch. I'm a gamer fan, so I want to get the Jedi Fallen Order and that kind of stuff. So as long as the games are good, as long as the shows and the movies and the media, the comic books are good, people will support that stuff. What happens, you don't want to get in a situation like Marvel Studios, where they just rush the product. I thought the Marvels was okay, but they spent $200 million on it. I can't tell you where that money went. Maybe just reshoots over and over. If you're telling a story, you don't have to double your budget and reshooting the entire thing, just as long as you have something to say with these characters in the world that we're building, right? So I think Marvel really needs to slow down, and so they can really keep the value of those figures in the world that they've built. We haven't had anything like the Infinity Saga before, and a lot of people got back into collecting because of the Infinity Saga, because of Hot Toys 1/6 scale, because of Marvel Universe 375 scale, and of course Marvel Legends, as we've seen with some of the re-releases that we got from the Infinity Saga. More on that later, talking about the Target sale. But the point is, when we have brands like G.I. Joe, which is basically a hardcore toy collector brand, no media, right? No, we had the Operation Blackout game. There's an 8-bit game coming out, maybe some board gaming, but that's about it. Like, it's really the toys that are selling that. Shout out to Todd Z. What's up, man? Yeah. Hope you guys are having a good time. So when we get to different figures like Night Force and all the figures in that sub-team, like Repeater, like Psych Out, and a host of all others, you got to do it right. Like, it's home runs only, and that's a hard place for a toy line and a team to be in. Yeah, mine too, man. I got stories for y'all, for real. Yes, old school Toy Biz Marvel Legends was great too. A lot of great people worked on that line, like Paul Harding, David Bonner, and everything else. But let's go ahead and let's take it back to today's Joe release, which is Night Force Shockwave and Night Pursuit Ramp Cycle. So how many times have we gotten this Ramp Cycle? We got it with Breaker, we got it with Duke and the Tiger Force, but this makes a lot of sense, right? It just looks cool. I have so many Ramp Cycles. And yeah, I want Hasbro to tool up a new motorcycle to go with the Dreadnoughts, right? But that costs money. We're probably going to see the Dreadnought cycle. But if you're going to do this and you already have the mold for this motorcycle, this is a good way to do it. Asking for that 10 extra bucks, that's steep. That really is steep. Yo, shout out to JLS Comics. Shout out to Lawrence. What's up, man? Thanks for joining. Hopefully this is going to be a fun time for y'all. And yeah, Gas is right. It looks real good. Right? I wanted to troop build this Shockwave and then just have the other Shockwave basically being like, yep, you guys are my Shockwave core. And let's ride out on these Ram cycles, like whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you get with this. You get different machine guns. I think a lot of us have already discussed before where this stuff appeared at beforehand, but it's still yeah, it's still a great time. And Tony is right. We got Airborne, the 60th anniversary figs. People are already getting the vamp. Shout out to Gun Bunny. He was showing it off on Instagram earlier today. Check out Gun Bunny Customs. Check out my dude Tony's Figs. He had a great episode. He's doing a series right now about OG13 and his kit bashing, his customizing, and they look factory fresh, like they just came out of the plastic. Right now there are 2 episodes out. So check out my dudes, Tony's Figs right now. Check out those videos. They are amazing. But back to Shockwave. So $55, it was worth it to you, right? Once again, some people, they're just waiting for sales, waiting for deals, maybe mishaps from Walmart. I think the Dreadnought Naga hide accidentally listed for $24.97. That went quick. I was not able to get it at that price. I am jealous as hell. But that's okay. We're going to get back to this artwork in a second. Man, they put it in the back of the box, man. I got things to say about that. I really do. But once again, yeah, different weapons. They had to include a lot of stuff to justify that $55 price point. And yeah, Todd C is right. Like, you see the ammo barrel, you see all that stuff. I think that the drum was included with heavy artillery roadblock, but throwing that in just made a lot of sense. I like the different tampography. I like that it says Night Force on the bike. That made me want to get 2 of them. It's weird that Firefly's drone is included with this. And let me just say, I get it. Reuse helps the line go further. But I really it's like the peas touching the carrots and touching the mashed potatoes and everything gets all jumbled up. I really want Joe Tech to stay with Joe's. I want Cobra Tech to stay with Cobra. Like, I don't want Baroness using CoverGirl's tablet. You see what I'm saying? But whatever. Maybe I'm just being picky. I'm being picky. Sabir, thanks for joining me. Not coming in late. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your time with me and everyone else in the chat, man. I hope we're going to have some fun tonight. So thank you very much. But yeah, let's go ahead. We're back with the dopeness. So this art, I'm telling you, belongs in the front. It's not going to happen, but it belongs in the front. And I understand not retooling or making a new drone mold just because, maybe they've recovered Firefly's spy drone when it was snooping in on it and then they rewired it. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll get off of that. But the art is fantastic. And I just think that they should really go back to that, because what ends up happening is when you have your art in the front, you're able to just show off more. So for an example, here's the trouble bowl, right? Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Look at the detail. Like, it makes you want to get multiple so you can recreate stuff like this and just having it out there. If this was in a window, I mean, yeah, you would see it. You already know it's in there. And when you have Pulse exclusives and even Walmart exclusives and stuff like that, yes, there will come a point where Night Force Shockwave and Night Pursuit Ram Cycle will be on the shelves. And that window will keep people from fig swapping, from putting Tiger Force Duke and Ram inside instead, right? So the windows do serve a purpose. I get it. But when you're buying from fan channels, when you're buying from stuff like Collecticon or Pulse, you can do stuff like this. So I just hope that the Joe team really fights for that, because I think this art here, that's where that art needs to be. It needs to be out in the front. I'm still going to keep saying that, but I'm not going to say that much too much longer, because it kind of doesn't matter. We got these renders today from Tony, the great Tonino on Instagram. So just showing off like how they were going to set stuff up. I wish they'd let me know about this sooner, because I would have put it in my checklist, and now I had to wait for a few more figures because the layout is very sensitive. Like, this would basically get its own slide. Like, that's what would happen at this point. Shockwave would just be chilling in the center of a giant white square, and that's about it. Lawrence, thank you for that. Thank you for that comment. Please hit that like button, sirs. No, I'm just kidding. You know how we do here. We be fooling around. But yes, there we go. So long story short, I think, oh yeah, and they added some dark circles. Kind of looks like the Joker from the Dark Knight almost a little bit, right? Like the Joker infiltrated the Joes. But stuff like that's just interesting. It helps keep it different. It helps keep it fresh. I think we're going to get a lot more Night Force from the Joe team. We're going to get Repeater. We're going to get Crazy Legs. We're going to get all those, right? Night Force Crazy Legs is coming with the Dragonfly. So that means we're going to get classic Crazy Legs. But the point is, this line's going to last for a long time. And they're playing the long game. So I don't think we're at a point now where people are really tired of this. You can still look at like first edition Duke, and a lot of the first wave Joes are still like, if not at retail price, they're double, sometimes even triple that. That's how great this line is. So they're going to keep finding ways to re-release Wave 1 and Wave 2 and really get their money's worth out of this line. And they're doing that without having piss poor media critter it. Like, they're really treating this with quality, and that's what you need to do. Once again, the art that it inspires from all these people working on the line is fantastic. I think you could do a flap, but the flap will just end up costing more money. So this Shockwave, if this had a flap, it would probably, instead of being $54.99, just because of paying for packaging, it would then become $59.99. I don't think anyone wants that. So if that means relegating the artwork to socials, well, so be it. So be it. Because we save a few bucks, the window's back, it's going to stop the fig swaps on the shelves. It does need to survive on brick and mortar. We're not at a place yet where we're really doing this stuff on fan channels or e-channels. Like, you still need to walk into a Target or a Walmart, or hell, even a Ross or Ollie's, and just see what's available and then get it. Because once you get that, it's probably going to lead to more purchases. I was able to find some Gundam Universe figures at Ross, and they were like $12. But because of that, and because of how great they are, then what did I start doing? Did I start buying Gundam Universe figures at full price? Close to full price. But instead of half off, is sure, I'll take $2 off, $3 off. But they're just dope. But getting them on sale and getting them at that clearance price could potentially open up your collection. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? If you can control yourself, then sure, that's fine. Yeah, Mr. Roper has a good idea. To the Rock, when to stock. Dual bikes. That's how you gotta do it. Chaz, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. What's up, Mr. Roper? Thank you very much. We're gonna move on to our next segment. I gotta give some love to this dude right here, man. Gridiron Studios. Now, Gridiron is my armorer of choice. And some may say it's not for everyone, but I think if you get stuff like these loadouts, then it definitely is, because that's how you really get your money's worth. If you get one of these loadout packs, then what that allows you to do is you get everything you see here. You get the harness, you get the war belt, you get different mags, knives, sidearms. There's a lot that you can do with this. And the design of this thing is just fantastic. We already see that Gridiron has big things on the horizon, and they're already designing action figures, working with Operation Monster Force at a Big Bad Workshop. It's going to be an exciting time. But just look at this stuff. And look at the things, the photograph. If you're a toy photographer, Gridiron was made for you. I hope you're not just sitting on a treasure trove of Gridiron accessories and doing nothing with those. Get your camera out, put them on Facebook, put them on Instagram. This is the stuff that makes this fun. It really is. Oh, yeah, by the way, when you all get the chance, check out A Pump with Toys in about 32 minutes. He's going to have an interview with Mark from Canon of Gridiron Studios. So have fun with that. And if everybody leaves this chat in the middle of my stream, I won't even be mad. Have a great time, Lawrence, with tonight's episode. It's going to be super dope. Anywho, let's go ahead and go back to these. So, man, it's a really fun time to be a collector, because you have places not just like Gridiron Studios, but Mucha Garcia's designs, Arsenal of Pew Pews, Jay's Armory on Etsy. The list goes on and on. So if you want to pimp out these figures, now's the time to do that. Yes, Todd C is exactly right. If you get a Joe on clearance, it could be Python Patrol, it could be one of the older waves. But then that just allows you to put that money towards accessories and creating your own types of figures. Like, this is a golden time for collectors right now. It really is a golden age. Hell yeah. My dude from Terradrome knows. Hell yeah. And yeah, shout out to Mr. Roper. Yeah, man, I'm hoping you're having a fun time with those gridiron pieces. Go slow. He says, I like most of their stuff. I just find it a little too large and a bit out of scale with some rifles. Well, it depends. I think some of the larger Hasbro figures and even the Mattel figures, they scale pretty well. And then there are other different sidearms and different rifles where the scaling is better. But you're right. There are some firearms that you can even put them with 7-inch McFarlane or NECA. So it just depends. If you don't mind, and I honestly don't, because G.I. Joe is a little larger than life, then check that out. Oh, Lawrence, that's very sweet, man. You don't have to do that, man. Like, Cats showed me a lot of love on the replay for episode 1 2 weeks earlier. And also, I had to add, the reason that Black Genghis Live is every 2 weeks is because I am busy as hell. I am slinging figs. I am really blessed with employment. And so I will do what I can to show love to the community and doing little bits like this. But yeah. So I will see y'all again on, not ending the show, but I will see y'all again on the 28th of March. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But going back to this is the secret sauce right here. Folding stock. Right now, this isn't the first folding stock we've seen from Gridiron. He had a pistol and carbine elite loadout that was super sweet and so great. I have my General Hawk paired with that one. But just looking at this AK with the banana clip and the extra accessories and that folding stock, like, that's like, give me that. Give me the folding stock. If it's a Milcore grenade launcher, I want to pop that canister out. I want to put in the rounds. I want to spin that sucker. I want the stock to go up. I want to add foregrips. I want to add scopes. I want to do all that stuff, right? There's not too many people doing it like this. And even those that are, they either cost more or they have a smaller catalog. So I think Gridiron gives you the best of both worlds. Let's see. Thank you for joining us, Michael Sexton. Yep. And yeah, you want to go slow. You don't want to just impoverish yourself. Like, you want your collection to last. You want to keep collecting, so you don't want to overdo it. But yeah, that recent black Halo jumper helmet, yes. Oh, the Resolute Duke. If I can do any 6-inch Resolute figures, I will do it. Shout out to Doom Days. He's a big fan of G.I. Joe Resolute, and he does a lot of different, like, Snake Eyes and different Resolute customs. So yeah. There's a lot of really fun stuff. Once again, right, the bayonets that come on and off. It's when you get these loadouts, you really are getting your money's worth. You can add the nods on the helmet. You can leave them off. He gives you all these different options. So the Von Cannon family over at Gridiron Studios, be sure to check them out. And I'm highly recommending the Ultimate Trooper loadout. Look at that, man. If you have the Python Patrol troopers on clearance, let's see, I have these around here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So, for example, if you have one of these, you were able to get one on sale, you can actually take one of the red mask troopers, put that on your old school Cobra Island or your Cobra Infantry, and you combine it with this. Come on, man. Come on, it's just fun times. Have fun. Have fun with your figs. I'm telling you. You don't have to listen to me. Yo! Yes. Ray is exactly right. We are spoiled for 6-inch military. Resaurus Toys had a nice effort. Okay. And yeah, the Special Forces line. Foosh used to talk about Special Forces all the time. They're Harrier jet. They're helicopters. If you're able to still find HMS Special Forces vehicles, they are compatible with 6-inch, with classified, and they're a lot of fun. Hold on, but I gotta show this dude right here some love. Ryan, dude, what's good, baby? What's popping? Shout out to the Island Misfit Toy Collectors for real. All right, I just had to say that. All right, where was I? Yes, all the goodies you get with Ultimate Trooper loadout. So once again, the harness, the war belt, the bayonets that also you can holster. You don't want to put on the AK rifle. the different clips, the banana clips, right? The nods that go on the Cobra helmet, perfect rendition of those. The folding stock on the rifle. It's great, man. It really is. Thanks, man. Ryan, really appreciate you, dude. Hopefully you have fun with the replay. You can always play back at 1.5 speed. I will not be mad. But yeah, it's whenever you can get the most out of your collection, and whether that means customizing, kit bashing, adding accessories, if that means painting, boil and pop, like talking with people on the Facebook groups and Discord and everything. I learned a lot and allowed me to make the figures I wanted to make and do exactly how I wanted to do them. Whether it was, stuff like this John Wick character holding a dragon's breath shoddy, right? I show this off a lot because it's just a lot of fun. A simple kit bash, just putting a different head sculpt on it goes a long way. But the point is, it is a golden time. And we can play with these figures in a way that we've never been able to before. Seeing stuff I never thought we'd see. But I got to give a shout out to William Stone, William Stone Art, who was very inspirational to me on Instagram. He inspired my project OG13 about 2 years ago now, and he's still doing fantastic fan art for the Joes. So this one really helped inspire this Ultimate Trooper loadout. So once again, check out William Stone Art 72 on Instagram. Really great job with these renders, and like I said, putting on the red mask with that gridiron set, all the different looks you can do with the nods or no helmet at all, that kind of stuff. It's like, man, am I gonna buy 2 of these gridiron loadouts? Maybe. I'll save up some money. I'll start with one. I start nice and slow. But yeah, once again, when you get the chance, shout out to William Stone Art. The dude takes his craft very seriously. Look at that. Like, who does that? Who's willing to just put even the rear view? Like, this dude needs to be designing action figures. He needs to be designing action figures so I can buy them. But now Gridiron will have to do and just making those. So once again, I just want to say, okay, yeah. So Mark was basing it on those digibashes. And yeah, he does a great job, Ray. You're exactly right. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate you saying that, man. That's too kind. You really are. Oh, hell yeah. You can find me on the Island of Misfit Toy Collectors. Shout out to Ryan. We got to do a collab. We've been meaning to collaborate about these figs for a long time. I'm overdue on the island. You get what you pay for, right? Whether it's $19.99, $12.99, $9.99, you get what you pay for. And sometimes it can just be something just as simple as this. Like, this is a Fortnite figure. It was at Ross for $3. Look cool. I got it. I gave it to Stalker's grease gun. But the point is like, if it's worth it to you, then go ahead and get that and have fun. The problem happens when it's no longer worth it. When you're paying, yeah, well, not for the next couple of weeks. Let's put it that way. But yes, shout out to the island, of course. But here's the thing. You can't just keep buying everything under the sun. No collector can do that. It's irresponsible, especially when you're adulting and there are other things you want to do. You want to go out, you want to meet folks, you want to do that kind of thing. The world opened back up years ago now at this point. So you can still be a collector, but responsible collecting is more fun and it lasts longer. It goes further, right? So it's going to be hard. Hey, shout out to Matson. What's up, dude? Thanks for joining us, man. It's going to be hard to do that when we have things like this next item. So this comes from the Ghost of Krypton, and this is from McFarlane Toys. Now, it's a great design. I love that they used the Snyderverse S as sort of like the Earth 2 alternate S, right? I love the belt. I love the greebling on the super suit. I love the portrait. It's a great head sculpt. Like, I want to get these. I even want to get the comic book that comes with it. The problem is, this is a threadbare offering. Now, let's look at the rest of the wave real quick. We have Superman himself. You get the figure stand you get the trading card, and of course you get the battle armor pieces. And there are a lot of hints from the battle armor that Jor-El had in Men of Steel. If they ever do make a Jor-El for Men of Steel, it would be great to see him have battle armor like this that you could put on the super suit. That would be pretty awesome, right? So keep track how much stuff comes with this figure right here. Let's go ahead and let's keep it moving. So this here's Brainiac, right? You have the hand, you have like the weapon claw, and then you have all the extra tentacles and different bits that plug into the figure as well, right? So right now we're seeing in this line, there's a lot of stuff that comes with these figures. Now let's go ahead and look at the namesake, Ghost of Zod. So we have the super suit. It may glow in the dark. It looks like it glows in the dark, but I'm not sure. I haven't confirmed that yet. But it has extra hands. It has the holding hands, but no weapons to hold. It has fists, and it has like open hands, right? So let me go ahead and go back to val-Zod, because if you look closely at that cover, he's punching something like a spaceship or like alien ice. I don't know, but he's punching it. So why does this not come with fists? I'm just saying, why does this not come with fists? Just an extra pair of hands. An extra pair of hands will go a long way, so I can make this guy punch somebody. I love that it comes with a soft goods cape. I love that. I really hope soft goods stays, that it stays a standard with McFarlane toys. He's punching snow. Very funny. Very nice. But yes, he is. But seriously, I wish this dude came with more hands. So the next time a val-Zod comes along, if it doesn't have those extra goodies, I'm probably just not going to bother. I'm getting this. I hate to admit it. I'm getting val-Zod to spite myself. And I get that the rest of the wave, you can't really retool that. That you don't really have a situation where you can reuse those molds the way that McFarlane usually does. So we have this Superman, yes. And then you also have val-Zod, which is the exact same super suit, just a different color. So that's smart reuse between those two figures. That is. But if you look closely, even that Superman doesn't have extra hands, doesn't have holding hands, doesn't have the hands that val-Zod has. So Toddy Mac, he gets these figures out pretty fast, and he gets it out pretty smart. But if it just push a little bit more, just more accessories, like it makes it go down smoother. And I think Todd's done the math, and he just said, like, I can get away with this. People will buy it anyway. And he's right. I am. At least val-Zod. I don't know about the others. Thankfully, there's no Build-A-Figure that's going to hook me into buying this whole wave. But it's still interesting. And McFarlane's the only one that's doing stuff like this and can do it with the speed that he does. When we talk about Hasbro in MCU or different comic books or whatnot, it could take them years to finish a team. It can take them years to finally catch up with Disney media, with different shows. Whether we had like Agatha that we were waiting on from WandaVision, one thing or another. So if you're not going to give us a lot of extras, right? But you make up for it by having the soft goods cape, by having a great portrait, very interesting texture on the super suits, right? Then yeah, you can pretty much get that stuff, right? But I think you're better off putting your money towards something else. If you have no idea who val-Zod is, if you do not care, if you're not really interested in page punchers or buying 4 comic books that you didn't ask for, the truth is, no one can blame you for not getting these figures, for not using them in photos, not using them in social media posts. You do have to get your money's worth. That's not always the case. But however, this next wave from McFarlane may be a little bit different. This is the GLA wave, right? So we have Aquaman, Batman, Blue Electric Superman, and John Stewart, and comes with the Plastic Man Build-A-Figure. Now, I can't wait to get this, even though that Batman's a repaint of 3 Jokers, and I got 3 Jokers, an extra 3 Jokers, so I could paint it black. And now I don't have to. Hee hee. But I think that's a strong wave, right? With the electric effects, accessories, something. Give us something. And already we're seeing like you can do some pretty cool dynamic stuff with this. Pretty badass 90s Aquaman. It was crazy to cut that dude's hand off. And then, yeah, once again, this Batman, just this black and yellow Batman, takes a lot of its cues from Burton 89. But I just wanted that comic book look, not necessarily the cinematic Keaton look. And this is going to look badass with the Batmobile. If you have it, it's going to be great. This Jon Stewart. I've been hearing different extremes about this head sculpt. I dig it. I dig it. There's a lot of people that don't. They don't appreciate the baby fro. They don't get it. Like, we already have a Jon Stewart. Yeah, man, but how many Batmen do you have? Hold on. But how many Batmen do you have? You got like 20 Batmen just from McFarlane multiverse alone, not counting everything else before from Mattel or Superpowers. So, yeah, go ahead and get another Jon Stewart. Anyway, yeah, it's a very strong wave, and I can't wait to get this. One thing, just one thing. This Plastic Man gives me the creeps. Like it's nightmare fuel. I don't like it. I'll put it together. I'll get it in hand. And then I'm probably going to flip it. But for the Plastic Man fans, you got your plastic action figure. Someone needs to do a story where Plastic Man pretends to be his own action figure so he can like do surveillance or something like that. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, I got the whole wave. You got to move fast when it comes to this stuff because McFarlane Toy Store had the bundle for like $85. It was on sale. If you use MTS 10, you save 10%. So even with shipping, it ends up being like $95, $96 flat. It just depends, but it goes fast. This stuff, I can't compete with the speed of the internet. I can't compete with them. So sometimes the stuff gets gone. It's gone. It's just gone. There are very few items that I end up going back onto the aftermarket for because I just wasn't fast enough. Clutch. People were buying Clutch on eBay for $150, $175. It was going in and out of stock. So if you lucked out, you were able to get it at $100 retail price. But people will pay if you can't move fast enough because there's only so much of us collecting. That's the thing. But once again, this was a classic run from Morrison, who revitalized GLA, similar to what he did with New X-Men. Never bet against Morrison. That dude's awesome. And there's a good chance that we'll get some more figures from this run outside of the first 5, including the Plastic Man Build-A-Figure. So, like I said, it's a fun time to be a collector, having a blast. When you're getting dream lines, right, there's so many things that you can do with those. Hold on a second. Yep, Gen X skin. Yeah, like in the 90s and the early aughts, they were doing a lot of crazy stuff with Marvel Legends because they wanted to make a statement because that was like really the first time you were seeing 6-inch action figures like that. And the Legends is still going strong to this day. But Tony, he's pretty thorough when it comes to DC stuff. He knows his stuff. He really does. Dream lines. So, for example, that Target sale. Look, man, I had to get that mouse jaw. And a friend of mine got me one already, but I had to get one just to keep in the packaging. So when you get it on sale like this, it lets you do that. But if you still support a line, that line can still last. So I'm still going to build this metal Bodo. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun to do that. Slaker is coming out. Slacker, rather. That kind of thing. And, of course, once again, speaking on McFarlane Toys, I had to get that Dawn of Justice Batman. I'm trying to find my Man of Steel Superman before I do the review. But when you can get the stuff, get it. Like, get it. Oh, like I said, Tony knows his stuff. Don't mess around with Plastic Man. It may ruin your day. I'm a big fan of this next segment. Here we have Snout Spout on Masterverse. So this went live on Mattel Creations a couple of days ago, about $33 plus shipping. So I was able to get one. I think it may still be up, but I've always loved Snout Spout ever since I was a kid. And I had to get the origins as fast as possible. And now this sucker as well. Releasing it on Mattel Creations is smart because what that does is that you don't have to worry about fig swapping. Mattel doesn't have to worry about this figure right here, which is a very expensive figure to produce because of the tooling and the molding. They don't have to worry about losing money on closeouts and clearance and sales. They can just, you're buying from Mattel Creations, and that's that. And it gives them the metrics for how long Masterverse and everything else is going to continue. But let's go ahead and keep it going. I dig the hell out of this. I think they did a fantastic job with this. Loving how it looks in 7-inch scale. I can't wait to pair it with the rest of my Motu figures from Masterverse, Revolution, and Revelation. You look at the detail. I feel like I'm getting my money's worth with this, but it just may be the fan in me talking about that. I can get why if Masters isn't your thing, but if you're a toy aficionado, why wouldn't it be? But anyway, I can get why people may not be super into this. But if you're like me, it's like a dream come true. I can't wait to get Rio Blast, Masterverse scale, Cyclone. That's going to be fun. I think some of those pictures leaked actually. I should have threw them in the slideshow for today's episode. That's my bad, but they're out there. And of course, I don't think you can actually use water. You may. I mean, you may damage your thing out here. Hey, Woody, thanks for joining, man. No one's late to these things. There's no lateness with this, man. Come as you are. Come when you're able. I appreciate y'all having fun and just stopping by to say, hey, thank you very much. That means a lot. My snout spout shipped. Yep, same here. It's going to, and Mr. Tsukor, welcome to the channel. Hope you're having fun. So it's already there. And I wish more, hold on a second. I wish more companies would do that. Not everything has to be a constant tease. It doesn't have to be name reveals and renders. You can just be like, yo, here's the figure. Figure's up. Here it is. That would be awesome. That's basically the 21st century digital equivalent of just walking to a toy store, discovering a cool ass figure, and then getting it. So I really wish more companies and more teams would do that. Like I don't need to know. I don't need to know until it's ready. Just like this Night Force Shockwave. And it's still going to be a few months until we have it in hand. But just saying, hey, here it is, and it's going to be out in the pre-order with CollectorCon, that's smart. I really wish that they would do that. And not everything has to be hype. Not everything has to be a tease, because that can lead to collector burnout too, where it's like, listen, y'all can just hold on to these figures until they're ready. And if they ain't ready, don't bother me, because I already have more than enough figures. Trust me. But I think they're doing a good job over at Mattel. I think Snout Spout is just like this ridiculous, heroic figure, but it's a firefighting elephant. That just makes sense, man. Like that dude could have gotten his own cartoon back in the day, right? And the packaging, once again, is incredible. It makes you want to keep one and package. But the way that they do it, even if you open it up, you can just close it right back. Sunman does that. A lot of the other Mattel Creation exclusives do that too. So you can still open it up, have fun, and put it back and put it on the shelf as a showcase. Now they're about 4 inches wide, 8 inches tall. And honestly, I think if you have a Snout Spout, right, it's not about how tall it is or how wide it is. It's about how you use it. So if you're going to play with your Snout Spout, play responsibly. It's the right thing to do. And hey, they call us adult collectors for a reason. Am I right? Of course I'm right. So once again, that's it for Snout Spout Mattel Creations. Really fun times. I think it's just a really good time to be a fan. I think, yeah, that dude has a lot of fun. It is very fire. Tony gets it. But once again, we go back into media. You have to be careful with how you pull off these productions in these ancillaries. I loved Motu Revolution and Revelation before it. I think the backlash was unwarranted. If people loved Motu that much, they would have been watching the vintage cartoons. They would have read the comics, and they would have taken those lessons to heart. So sometimes I feel like we deal with fans in bad faith. because they just have nowhere else to go, right? Like they have money on their hands, they like cool toys, but really they like controlling social circles and they like controlling spheres. So it's not about the lessons we learned reading the comics, watching the shows. It's about, can I bully these people into collecting the way that I do and liking the media that I choose? That's no kind of fan at all. I dealt with it in Masters of the Universe. I've dealt with that in Star Wars. It goes on and on and on. People losing their shit over a black April O'Neil. Listen, man, how many April O'Neils have we had? Shout out to Judith Hogue. Shout out to Paige Turco. Shout out to Megan Fox. It's like, we got so many April O'Neils. People need to chill. And people reveal themselves for who they are, basically, based on their interactions with these brands. So when we have something like G.I. Joe, doing a G.I. Joe show, doing G.I. Joe movies, it's tricky because you're still making military pulp adventure. And if it's not military enough, if it's too sci-fi, like how some people consider Rise of Cobra, which was fine. Rise of Cobra was fine. Like if you're going to do a big-ass Saturday morning cartoon movie, you're going to have something like Rise of Cobra, right? Retaliation kind of took it back to basics a little bit, right? So it just depends. I think there's a way to do really kick-ass G.I. Joe media, but you have to be aware of what came before. That means Resolute. That means the comic runs, Hama on Marvel and now Skybound. That means some of the other shows. And it could mean Renegades. It could mean G.I. Joe Extreme. Or just even the old school Sunbow series or the Deke series, which I'm not a fan of, but whatever. The point is that whatever shape G.I. Joe is going to take next, you need to be knowledgeable. And I feel like with Skybound in particular, that's not really a problem. Soon we're going to see a release of the Scarlett miniseries and Destro. So far, the art and the presentation is fantastic. And we're already seeing hints of what's going to come down the line. We see the Arashikage logo in blood in the snow. Shout out to the Resolute, yes. Oh, Brian, thank you for that question. With Rise of the Beast, Lorenzo di Bonaventura, I don't think has been a good steward of the brand. I think he's in this business to make money, not necessarily to tell stories. I think he's here to make content instead of lasting productions that we can go back to over and over, like say Star Wars or even Lord of the Rings. I loved Resolute. Resolute was one of my favorite series, even though Warren Ellis is a persona non grata at this point. But I think you're going to do something like that. A Night Force done in the style of Resolute would be awesome. A Night Force movie, you can do it hard as hell. You can do like Zero Dark 30, but Night Force, I watched that. Even like 12 Strong. If 12 Strong was just called G.I. Joe, it would have been an excellent G.I. Joe movie, right? But anyway, I think with Rise of the Beast, you would have to be charismatic as hell to keep Lorenzo di Bonaventura from interfering with your storytelling. So that you would say, here's how we're going to do Transformers and G.I. Joe. This is what it's going to be. This is the texture. This is the tone that we're going to do it. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be badass. It's going to be fierce. It's going to be Starscream squishing humans in his hands, like that kind of stuff, right? Like you have to protect the brand from the people who just want to make money from it. Lorenzo di Bonaventura, fun fact, he produced Madam Web. A lot of the reasons why that Madam Web movie is as bad as it is because of di Bonaventura. And I wish that wasn't the case. A good Madam Web movie would have kicked ass, right? So instead of, say, Dakota Johnson, right, age her up. Get like Charlize Theron as Madam Web. Like someone who can kick ass, someone where it makes sense. Good characters. Like you have young Spider-Woman, young Silk. You have like all these different cool female spider heroines that you could have sold merch, different face masks, different toys and whatnot. It was just awesome. Spider-Verse was so good that as soon as Spider-Verse was over, I immediately bought another ticket to watch it again. I haven't done that since X-Men United, since X2 20 years ago. So you gotta make good content. If you make it, people will come. They will go back. They will do repeat business. They could have sold Madam Web hoodies with the maroon and the web designs. They could have sold water bottles, lunch boxes, Madam Web tampons. You wouldn't buy a tampon that had like a cool spider webbing design on it? I would. The point is, if you don't have good, strong media, then everything else will falter. We're seeing that with the MCU. We're seeing that with so many different things. Star Wars has to slow down. Marvel has to slow down. Good storytelling will make the brands in the universe and the collecting last longer. Shout out to Toy Bunny Hunter. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a good time, man. Let's go back to Skybound. So once again, we're seeing hints of what will come in the future. And that really this Scarlett miniseries is shaping up to be a two-hander with Genghis, which would be awesome. That's what I would totally do. Great design work here. It's kind of like Danger Girl, but not as horny, which works, which will work. And we're already seeing Scarlett infiltrate high society, that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun series. So when you get the chance, I say go ahead and add this to your pull list. And once again, we're already seeing a shout out to Kim Arashikage, Genghis. So we're going to see what's going to go on with that. It's a good time. I'm loving all the stuff that's coming from Skybound. Please, no spoilers in the chat. Thank you very much. Not that that was happening, but just trying to get ahead of that. Todd C says, Hasbro should have partnered with Marvel back in the heyday instead of doing E1. Give Disney the rights to make the movies, and Hasbro gets to make the toys. They may be doing something like that. We're not in the room where it happens right now. Shout out to Toyomic. Toyomic, toy plus comics equals Toyomic. Oh, Disney. Okay, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Ha ha. Yes, they're doing a fantastic job. We're seeing a lot of great stuff. Yeah, man. It's making Joe fans out of Transformers, and it's making Transformer fans out of the Joe fandom. So it's great. It's perfect cross-pollination, and people really need to check out what's happening at Skybound right now. Waiting for the trades. They're going to be fun trades. Check them out. But let's look at some of the artwork that we see right here. Really cool stuff. So some of the variant covers kind of gives the game away. We already see Genghis on the first issue. Some really cool stuff. I have some New Ray diecast motorcycles, and when you have Scarlett and some of the other female Joes, they fit just fine on those 1/12 scale diecast motorcycles. So you have that. Go ahead, recreate some comics, some panels, some cover shots. Go nuts. It's a fun time right now. Really digging that. Can't wait to add it. But now let's also talk about Destro. I feel like this one's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to anyone who has the Gridiron Throne, because that's sort of like a better version of that. This cover is going to make me buy that throne. Right? So once again, not spoilers, it's the first few pages. But yeah, we're already seeing the Battle Android Troopers putting in work. It's going to be vicious. Hold on a second. After 25 years, finally collecting comic books again. Yeah. Energon Universe is getting us all back to the comics. It's a great time right now. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah. I just want people who have not been reading Transformers or Duke, Cobra Commander, and then Scarlett and Destro coming up next. And also Hama's continuing Real American Hero line, which is in the 300s right now, 306, 307. Go back, check out everything on Skybound Universe, what Skybound's doing with Joes and Transformers. It's a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and keep on. Look, come on. Like, these look bad ass. I have bats. I have so many bats. I have so many bats. Arctic bats, Crimson bats. But they just look awesome. Like, I want to see the movie that has these, or even like the cartoon. Yeah, they look great. Yeah, everyone agrees the Skybound books are fantastic. But imagine like a G.I. Joe Resolute, but there were bats and they were just shooting dudes up and be like, man, it would be messed up. It would like they would take out some Joes for real. Resolute went hard, man. They killed off Bazooka like in the first 3 minutes. Spoiler alert. But yeah, it's harsh. So if you did like a Joe show, with like, you know, and then had to be adult animation, but just not toned down, not talking down to kids. Because Hama didn't talk down to us. The Marvel comics didn't talk down to us, right? It respected our appreciation for pulp adventure. So you had some badass bats just shooting everything up. Come on, dude, game over. Dome shots. People wouldn't have been ready for those bats, man. Even those accelerator suits from Rise of Cobra, you couldn't do nothing with those against these bats. But we're seeing some really fun stuff with Destro. Once again, Skybound is incredible. Highly recommend all of those issues, all of those comics. It'll make you want to get more toys. It'll make you want to get more action figures, and just even check out some of the other realms in Energon Universe. Yep, it's G1. You got your vintage, you got your masterpiece. You're already there. It's great. Really fun time for fans. Folks, I just want to say that it's been great starting this new realm of Black English YouTube. There's a lot of fun stuff on the way. When you're able to save a few bucks, definitely go ahead and do that. Like just adding to the list, like this bazooka, $10. There's no beating that. And you didn't have to go to Ollie's or Five Below or Ross to get it. It was straight from Target. And stuff like that helps you expand your collection. This one's cold-blooded. Why did I do my boys like that? Like, I had to get this on sale because I didn't have the heart to buy this at full price. This is a vicious set. It really is. But whenever you can get stuff on sale, like, it helps the line in your collection spread. But if you can't wait like me, I am not going to get Doc on sale. I am not going to get Jinx on sale. Naga Hide was $24.97 on Walmart, and now it's sold out. Ugh. Dreadnought Ripper was like $12 for 3 seconds on Target, and then it sold out. So whenever you can catch that stuff, that's great. Yo, shout out to FC Viper. Yeah, man, the Destro comic's going to be sick, dude. That dude's going to be like chopping dudes up. And yes, for all you all going out to Joe Fest, have a great time. I'm still trying to make it work. I think a lot of the lodging is just taken up right now. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it's a great time to be a collector. It's a great time to be a fan, and really enjoy yourselves. I'm keeping these episodes short and sweet because I think, yeah, it's harsh. It gets harsh. And they're doing another one too with Ratchet and a couple others. But the point is that we're getting the stuff that we had dreamt about as kids. And we're getting some dream figures out there. So if there's anything you want to do, with be it customizing, check out Gun Bunny Customs on YouTube. Check out Tony's Figs on YouTube. For real, I'm telling you. And go nuts. Get started. It's great. Shout out to Gridiron, who's on A Punk with Toys right now. So I'm getting ready to wrap things up a little bit. Shout out to the Replay Gang. If you like what you see, please leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to share. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies. They hate me just like Rick Astley them, and be like, haha, you thought I was sending you something else. It's Black Genghis. Haha. Just kidding. But thank you so much for your support and for enjoying the channel. Shout out to 𝐁𝐥𝐚𝐜. You're gonna love the replay, man. I do not waste people's time with this show. Yes, New Ross, great deal. Still ongoing if you can find them in stores. But anyway, folks, be good to one another. Enjoy yourselves. Oh, I wish that were true. This is the internet. It's only a matter of time. But I got love for those who got love for me, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining me in Black English episode 2. And once again, check out Punk with Toys Thursday with a friend and his special guest, Gridiron Studios, aka Mark Von Cannon. It's going to be great. Thank you all very much. Have a great weekend. Peace.